Okay, everybody can see the screen, I'm assuming. Yes?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, great. All right, so my understanding today is that we were going to go over the FXOB and the engines. We've developed here with the FXOB team, we've developed 3 engines that monitor and follow the order flow. And if you know anything about order flow, it's, you're looking for the highest high, the lowest low, and then in between there are a bunch of order blocks. And I think the description had mentioned something like, hey, we know how hard it is to draw this up and mark it on every chart. It's very hard to do that on 28 pairs. So the FXOB EA engine does this on multiple time frames. You'll see my screen here. I have multiple time frames open, and this is typically the way I've been viewing over the last couple of weeks as the EA has been upgraded and modified and changed and things. So quickly, we can easily see on the daily time frame here, if I bring this up, and if I hit the V button on my screen, you can see that these rectangles pop up. These are the actual daily sources. This is the actual daily time frame, so I'm looking at a daily source. So now if I hit A and extend this, we can see that our latest source is a bullish source. So we know that the current trend right now on a daily time frame is a bullish order flow source. Now, again, marking all of the order blocks is monotonous and time consuming as well. So with the press of a button on the keyboard, C, now we can see all the daily order blocks in the order flow series. So what you also see extended when we press the A button, we're calling this our supply and demand extension. What you'll also see is another candle extended. And what this is showing you is the last step broken candle. So before this pair moved to a daily order flow, if we pull up our order blocks, what you're going to see before this turned to a daily order flow is that this specific order block on a daily candle, once we closed above it, which was right here, we went to a daily bullish order block or a daily bullish order flow. And so that's what you see with this extension of this orange line is the LSB candle. And then for a daily on the supply side, again, it's the same thing. We know that as price was running up here, this was the most recent candle responsible for the highest high. So this is the LSB candle on a daily time frame. That is the LSB candle. So right now you could consider this a supply test as well as a LSB retest or a breaker retest. Okay, so now real quickly and easily, we know that we're in a daily bullish order flow. So this is the settings of the EA on a specific engine in a time frame. So now we kind of have a bias from a daily time frame, which is saying that we're in a daily bullish source. Now, as we're trading and we're looking at lower time frames, what we're looking for, we know the market maker method says, and every trader should try to buy low, sell high, or sell high and buy low. And so what we're looking for, and we're stalking for price to be at a previous day high. And you can see here the GBP USD is just at that now. A stop hunt to the high of the previous day. But if I wanted to look at the order flow here, I press the G button and then the A button. So let's just bring this up. So now I can see that the most recent order flow on an H4 is here, and it's a bullish order flow. So the most recent H4 order flow is bullish. So that aligns with our daily order flow. But you can see that we came up to this H4 supply zone. And this is what was stop hunted today with the news event and things. But price was right here, just hovering over the last couple of days at the previous day or last several hours over the previous day high. So now we have 2 time frames in alignment. We have our daily, which is bullish, our 4-hour, which is bullish. So now we could take a look at another time frame. And by hitting the X button here and A, now I can see that we just set in a bearish 1-hour order flow. So now we have a daily bias of bullish. Our 4-hour is still a bullish order flow, but we can start to see maybe the market's turning over as we have a 1-hour bearish order flow. So if that turned bearish, we know it turned bearish before that was a 15-minute. So over here, I have the settings just a little different. Here I'm using a different time frame setting where I'm looking at the highest time frame is H4 versus over here on the daily, I'm looking at the highest time frame of a day. So on this chart, I'm looking at the daily setup. So now let's take a look at this 15-minute. And with the press of X and A to extend this, I can see that we are in a bearish 15-minute order flow. Now, you can see that the pair had traded from the high today, and it came right back to this bearish, or sorry, to this bullish 15-minute demand zone. And this is where it got support at the 15-minute bullish demand zone. So these are the way the engines work and following order flow. And each one of these engines, so right now I'm on a lower time frame, each one of these engines, I can also see the order blocks in that order flow. So here was the most recent candle or order block that is responsible for this highest high. So we know that for this to go to a bearish order flow, we had to close below this order block. Now we've built in replay functions so you can monitor how the pairs change and how the dealer can manipulate price. So by pressing the N button, you can see that my replay bar is moving. And this is the N button. So this will take me back one replay bar at a time. And soon we're going to see that 15-minute source come off. You see that right there? So we're still in a bullish 15-minute source. So the replay bar is back here at 827, 1700. We were still in a bullish source because we hadn't closed below this order block. This next as soon as this candle that the replay bar is on closes, which is below this particular order block, that's when we get our bearish 15-minute source. And by pressing the M button, I can move the replay bar back. So this is one of the most important features of the EA, so we can determine and really analyze how the dealer's been moving price. Okay. So by pressing J, I can go back an entire session. So we're on the 15-minute time frame. So a session is from day to day. So by pressing J, it'll move the replay bar back an entire session. So now if I press K, it'll move this replay bar back to where we were. Okay. There's a lot of other interesting tools that are built into this. We've just recently concluded our upgrade of the auto fib, and we have a pretty neat ADR projection, and we can go over and look at those things. But before I do that, I guess, do you want to add anything to this conversation, GA? I've gone too fast and I've lost everybody.
I guess we can go on then.
Hello?
I'm here.
Okay, I'm still here. Okay, I was like, wow, okay, it's really, really quiet. I hope I didn't lose everybody. All right, so the next thing I will show you is, so the symbol changer, this is still in production. We're still building this, but what I typically like to do is I like to have these. So this is kind of how I monitor and quickly scan the pairs. That we do have a dashboard for doing this as well and monitoring and alerting us, but I also like to manually visually see these as well. So the symbol changer, as I have my charts opened up the way it is, I can quickly and easily analyze each one of these pairs by having these switches turned on right now, where I have the engine. Let's see if I can write here, annotate and draw text. So here we have a daily engine. Everybody can see the text, right?
Yeah, we can.
And here we have engine H4. If I can move this thing. I don't know how to move this thing. I'm not going to mess with that right now. Okay. So let me take off the annotate. I didn't like that. I'm not familiar with it very well. So as I quickly and easily, I can monitor each of these pairs. So here we know that we're in a bearish daily order flow because it's the most recent on the Aussie CAD. So we were in a bearish daily order flow. So what we're looking for when we're in a bearish daily order flow is for price to trade to a previous day high, back to a H4 demand zone, what we have here. And you can see now this stop hunt and price starting to move away. Now, ideally you would, let's see. So price starting to move away, traded back into the demand zone. And from here, if I press the I button one time, this is where we can show an auto fib. So the retracement from this zone, so the retracement from this particular bearish demand zone down to, sorry, from this bearish source or supply zone down to the bullish demand zone, this is the retracement value. You can see that they didn't break the 100 level. They stop hunted high of the previous day high. And now they're moving back down into, you know, if they do proceed to move further, now we have our extensions auto mapped as well. So these would be your target profits, your profit scaling and target profits and the symmetrical swing. So down at the symmetrical swing is where you really want to watch where the dealer is going to move price and, you know, look for, you know, a potential reversal there. Now, from a market maker method, we know that the market maker method says that we should move price 3 to 5 days in trending. In a trending pair, we move price 3 to 5 days or 3 to 5 times the ADR. So everybody tries to calculate the ADR.
Trader Noob, GA speaking. Just I want to add, sorry, before step ahead. We also are looking for a poor price action. We also can add the TDI just to have another confirmation with the divergences, just to make a clear, for example, here, I mean, maybe we have a divergence of M15. No. Okay, just to give to all the understanding that can add something to be more comfortable.
Right, and this is just, you know, we were really going over the engine, so I'm not showing the TDI, but that indicator is built into the FXOB default templates. So we have the TDI and such, but I'm mainly basically here just showing price action only because we were talking about the engines.
Yeah, very good.
Yep. Okay, so we know that the pair, this particular pair, is in a daily bearish order flow. And let's check the order flow on a 4-hour. So here's the 4-hour. So we know that we're in a bullish order flow here. Okay, so how far did the pair move from this particular zone? From this H4 zone, I want to know how far the pair moved up in a market maker manner. Meaning that I want to see from that particular bullish source, how far did the pair move up? So here on the 15-minute, yes? Oh, okay, sorry. I'll keep going. I thought somebody wanted to interrupt.
No, sulla canale da 1900.
So here on the 15-minute time frame, you can see that this is the actual layout. This is the bullish source and the bearish source on a 15-minute time frame. From this one particular time frame, I'm just showing the bullish source at this time. So here we have a bullish source and a bearish source. Now, where's the order flow on the order flow? Here's the order flow in the on the 15-minute time frame. This is the 4-hour order flow that I'm seeing. I can also quickly, easily see the 1-hour order flow. Here's the 1-hour order flow blocks. And if I look with the switch G, I can see a 1-hour bearish source here and a 1-hour bullish source here.
All right, so
trader web V off.
What you're saying now is that on the 15 minutes, we could basically see the HR order flow, order blocks, and the 1-hour order block simultaneously on the M15, right?
So with the 15-minute, the way I have the template set up, you can see any one of these time frame order flow. Okay, this is engine 2, and its switches are V and C. This is engine 3. Its switches are G and F. And then the 15-minute engine is X and Z. So by toggling these on my keyboard or toggling them down here, I can see the order flow particularly. And you can see here that this says source 60. So by toggling G on my keyboard or here, now it took off the 1 hour source. Toggling G, now you can see the 1 hour source. We see this extended because I have A pressed. So if I take an A off, you can see that. These other functions are your previous day high, previous day low, or weekly high, weekly low. This is your daily range. So this is average of how much the pair is going to move throughout the day. When it's green like this, you can see that the pair has exceeded or met its ADR. So don't expect much more movement out of this unless it's really, really trending. They stop hunted high, stop hunted low. This pair is not going to do anything the rest of the day, right? And if you want to look at another reason why it's not going to do much is because of the fact that it came back into this bullish 15-minute block, right? So this is holding as support right now. Plus it's met its ADR. So these are all switches that can be modified based on your engines. On my other time frames, I use different engine settings just to see what the dealer's doing at higher time frames. So the next 3 charts that I have are all set to these particular engines. And again, all of that can be displayed or shown with the switches, with the engine switches. So back to what I was talking about. We say that the dealer moves price 3 to 5 days trending. So this would be day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, stop hunted everything. Well, let's find out based on an average daily range. You can see that his average daily range has been met here. Well, how many daily ranges did he exceed getting to this point? So we have a hidden switch as well as the autofib switch, but this is a P function. So if I press P, what this does is this calculates from the H4 source the average daily range from the H4 source. Okay, so basically it takes whatever the engine 2 setting is and it projects this value, the average daily range. So let's say that today it's probably exceeded its daily range. It's 65 pips, but the actual average daily range is 62 pips. So you can see that each one of these would be 62 pips. So you know that this pair by pressing D has exceeded its daily range because it's moved 65 pips, but the average daily range is about 62 pips. And right now from the source down here at the bullish source, it has moved 1 times ADR out of the peak, 2 times ADR up into its 3 times ADR before it started falling. Now, why did it fall? Again, if we extend our H4 supply and demand switch, you can see that it ran right into this bearish supply zone. Now, pressing I, this is the current retracement on this time frame. But if I walk this back by pressing J, here on a 15-minute was let me take some of these things off. Here on a 15-minute, and now I have my replay bar back here to 8:20. So on a 15-minute, using a bearish order flow, because this was a bearish order flow at this time, so this is an order block, and it's taking the swing high of that order block to the swing low of the order block. This was the retracement value at this time, okay? So when we created this bearish source here on 8:19, our first autofib projection was, I mean, I could look into this and tell you it was, we got our first retracement, 8:20, 1400 candle. This autofib, this retracement was in place. And so you can see that it hit the 62 here and moved away down to the target 1. So that was a good trade of 75 pips. But now you can see the dealers moved away. This was a this was a previous weekly low. If I toggle that to a PDL, you can see that price did trade to a PDL and started moving away. So we just have to be cautious of this as we're navigating the market maker's cycle. Any questions? I really moved quickly through this, so
Yeah. So besides, what's the advantage of having this now? I know you mentioned that at the beginning, but not so many of us were online then.
The advantage of having what? Just all the engines? I didn't understand the value.
The EA itself.
So the EA itself, in my opinion, the biggest value is to be able to quickly identify the order flow at each specific time frame. So you really get an overview from any cycle that you really want to see. And depending on what type of trader you are, we can auto project a daily cycle range. We can auto project a Fibonacci retracement. And now somebody's coloring on my screen. Clear this. And again, we can do this on multiple time frames. We're also extending the last step broken. So as we made a bearish order flow on a daily time frame, we know that at this point, this hidden gray structure, we need to close on a daily time frame. We would need to close right above this candle. And if I press C, you can see that this is the order block. So as soon as we close above this extended structure, this kind of lighter gray area, we would go back to a bullish order flow on a daily time frame. So it really quickly and easily gives you the benefit of being able to monitor the order flow on multiple time frames without spending monotonous hours doing this yourself. And then one of the bigger features, and let me just pull up the, there's 28 pairs, there's 28 majors and crosses that we can monitor, plus the XAU and many others. And it's also completely customizable to what you want to monitor and scan yourself. And we do that with the dashboard. So the dashboard, what it's doing is it's looking at the market structure, and the code is built to alert us at a last step broken. So let's take the 15-minute order flow, okay? And let's just say on a 15-minute order flow, as soon as this goes bearish, if this closes below this order block, we'll go to a bearish order flow. Right now we're in a bullish order flow on an H4, but if we close below this order block, you can see that there's the highlighted gray structure. So if we close below this particular order block, we're going to go to a bearish order flow, a bearish 4-hour order flow, okay? So at this point, what we would be doing, we're monitoring for a bearish order flow, and any type of LSB is going to be alerted on the dashboard. And I'm going to change my screens of what I'm sharing to the scanner now and show the scanner. So this is the scanner monitoring on a 4-hour time frame and scanning 15-minute setups. And so what it's doing now is it's telling us right here on the GBP AUD that the current price is at a OTE retracement level. Price was at a previous day low. It's a return to source on an H4. And here's the AI alert engine. So this would be sent to your, this would be an MT4 alert notification, or if you have your MQL set up and notification set up, then you can push your notifications to your mobile device. So when this engine and this scanner and dashboard alerts you, you have a possibility to enter the market or to evaluate and analyze the market. So let's go ahead and take a look at this GBP AUD. Right here from the dashboard, you can see that before we look at this AUD, let me explain what's going on here. So we have the ADR. I've already detailed how we can determine if the ADR has exceeded its ADR value. Well, from the dashboard, you can easily see that as well. 74 over 60. This here means that the pair has moved 60 pips, or its average daily range is 60 pips, but it has met its ADR of 74. Okay, so it's moved 74 pips. This is that projection from the bullish order source, from the bullish order flow on an H4 time frame. It's moved 2.7 times its ADR value. Okay, these are when the last H4 bullish source was created. So this is the bullish source creation, and this is when it was alerted 32 candles ago. All right, so let's look at the GBP AUD. Again, we know that quickly from the dashboard that we're in a bearish order flow. Price was at previous day low, and it's moved 96 pips today at its 170-day ADR range. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And it was a return to source H4. So by clicking this, I should, the engine's going to pull up the scanner, or it's going to pull up the chart. Okay, so we can see that price is at PDL. Price was at PDL. The scanner had told us that we got a LSB, and it was at PDL. So it was a return to source, a PDL, and a last step broken. So let's evaluate that. Okay, so if I hit V and A, I can extend the H4 source. So this back here is where the H4 source was at. Now I'll take off the supply and demand by toggling the A switch. So we know that this is the H4 source. So from this H4 source, where did the price move from the H4 source? It barely moved up to its 1 times ADR. So that there is not enough of what I want to see. It didn't exceed the ADR value. Oh, sorry, this is a bearish source. I was looking at the bullish source. Here we go. We'll go back to this. So let's see, it's a bearish source. Okay, now I have to reevaluate what that signal was. It's a return to source plus PDL plus LSB, but it's telling us that it's a bearish source. So this is a new update that we just added. The return to source that we just got was a return to source of the demand zone down here on the H4. Yeah, so it was a return to source of the demand zone. Price was below PDL. And then inside this structure, we had a 15-minute LSB setup. And so if I hit the X button to show me my 15-minute order flow, this was the bullish source, okay? And now I'll hit Z to show the bearish order flow. So I know that this source, this 15-minute source, was created as soon as we closed above this particular value, okay? So if I walk the EA back, okay, so price is trading, and we have just returned to the bullish source from this bearish order flow. And here's where current price is at now. Okay, we're bearish 15-minute order flow. And as I walk the EA forward, right here, this candle closed above, right? So now we have a 15-minute LSB. This was the LSB. So usually you would take a retest of the source or a retest of the LSB, and we're at PDL. And so we would have been alerted right here at 8:27, 14:44 broker time. I don't know what time that is for me, but I would have gotten an MT4 notification that said, this is a pair that has returned to source, meaning that it returned to its bullish source, this one. Now it stop hunted this bullish source, so that doesn't interest me much at all. But some people love that. Naldo's favorite, I think, for the stop hunt at the source. So we would have gotten alerted right here. A retest of the source brought price back to here, TDI convergence, divergence, and we would have had a trade, right? If you would have retested the source, price came back up to PDL. So it's a quick win, 40 pips. So that's kind of how the engine's working, and the scanner and the dashboard. And then we also said on the scanner, OTE. So let's take a look at where the OTE is on this. So it's alerting on an OTE right now. And this is the thing, as you're trading, if you're trying to buy this as it's stop hunted a bullish source, the EA is already telling you that it's at an OTE. We're in a current bearish H4 order flow. So this is an OTE of that bearish order flow and the particular order block within inside this bearish order flow. So here is the H4 bearish order block. And you can see we're trading right back up into the OTE of this particular pair from this particular order block. And this is auto calculated with I. So I can toggle the I button on my keyboard and that auto places the fib. Now, this isn't a great setup. Again, we're not going to try to sell at a PDL. We want to be selling at a PDH. So this isn't particularly a great setup, but you can clearly see it's at an OTE. It's already rejected the 79% here, starting to move down, which was also a 200 EMA rejection. So yeah, I mean, it's not automated yet. We're working toward that. There's a lot of variables and moving parts, but it really is a tool set for any trader that trades supply demand and is familiar with the ICT concepts of Fibonacci retracements and extensions. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, sure, it does. It did. It did great. So, and the EA basically sends push notifications to my mobile MT4. And we also have a Telegram group where it sends pictorial evidences of LSB, right?
Yes, there is a Telegram group, and the Telegram group receives alert from a VPS. So we have some VPSs running, monitoring every pair and scanning for these particular setups. And I will just quickly, let me see if I can share that screen, but I'll kind of just show the screen that shows all of the alerts. Okay. So let's see here. Okay. Can you guys see the Telegram? Oh, can you see the Telegram channel? So these are all the alerts that as a entry is sent or an alert is sent, it gets pushed to the Telegram channel. And the Telegram channel will give you an overview of 15 minutes. It's a little blurry, a little distorted, but you can kind of get an idea. We have all the switches enabled here. We've got the supply demand extended and the Fibonacci retracement values. So, I mean, just today, oh, this is August 27th. So just today, we've gotten a lot of alerts. There were some news events. So, you know, you have to know what time frame you're working in and what the market conditions are at the time. Did you guys see that screen? Oh, you probably didn't even see that screen. Can you see the screen now? I think you can see the screen now.
Sure, we can see the Telegram screen, right?
Yes. Yeah, the Telegram screen. So this is the alerts that are sent to the Telegram screen, to the Telegram group for the subscribing members. And then, so this is just the push notifications. We also push these to the chat group as well. So then we can pick a pair and we can chat collectively as a group.
Oh, great, thanks. So I don't know if anyone has got questions to ask. You could drop them, or if you would rather speak, then signify so I can unmute you briefly as we try to wrap this up. So to trade this strategy, we need to have a good idea of source breaker, OBs, and a little bit of BTMM, right?
Right. And then for some more advanced and price retracements, a little concept behind the ICT Fibonacci retracement concepts.
Get you. So anyone with any question, you could let us know as we try to wrap this up.
Yep. Happy to answer any questions that come across at this point.
How do you, good evening. This is a good tool. How do you set up? I saw how you arrange your charts, like the chart I'm currently looking at. how do you set up your chart to have something like this and also to deliver alerts, to send notifications to your MT4, to your mobile MT4, I mean?
So that's all done from, so MT4 by itself has a notification built into it. And that is just done through your tools and options and from the notification. So if you're running MT4 on your phone, there's an MQ ID, and that's what you'll put in here, enable the push notifications, and that will start sending any MT4 alert to your phone. The scanner itself has a feature where here it says alerts are on. So it's going to use those built-in MT4 notifications that you have set. So as we're alerting on an H4 time on it, so I'm sourcing H4, I'm scanning for a 15-minute setup, and I have the alerts turned on. That's also a function in the EA that you can specifically set that says alert engine to true. So if you don't want to get alerts, you can just turn this off in the alerts engine. And here's all the alerts that we have at this point. The OTE alert, previous day high, previous day low alert. Yep. And then I did show the retouch, this alert here that says retouch, the engine 2. So that's what these are. That's why we got to return to source, is because that is turned on.
All right, someone is asking, do you have, how much is the, let me get a question again. What are the annual charges for the VPS signal? So do we sell the VPS signals, or you're selling the license to the EA?
I'll let GA answer to that. And typically I don't necessarily want to only sell the signals, just because I don't want to feel responsible for somebody taking a signal when they're only receiving a signal and they don't have the power of the EA behind them so they can accurately monitor and analyze the pair when a signal is received. I think at one time, again, I'm going to let GA comment on this, but I think at one time we were thinking about just selling the signals and then you would be included in just this signals group. But I don't think that's where the power lies.
I get the point. I can't take my eye off the drop happening now of the OTE.
Of the OTE. It's very, very powerful. And again, this could really pay out. You know, I mean, if you're taking a trade like this, just know that you're selling at a previous day low, you know, so just be cautious of that. And you need to have a really tight stop. But if you're trading off of a level like this and a retracement like this, your first profit is down here or at the 15-minute bullish source. Okay. So you know exactly where you're going to run into hesitation at. If price continues to drop and you start to see some bullish momentum here, you know that you're in a 15-minute bullish demand zone.
I could just take a walk.
I would actually like to show the power of these auto fibs, and let me find a pair that we analyzed the other day using this. It was actually GA. Okay, so I'm already on it. All right, so let's see. If you go back a few, that's the 4 hour, so I have to use the 15-minute. Let's see. Okay, so as I play this back, again, these are replay bars. Okay, so right here, the EA, you can see that they did stop hunt the area. And at this point, we're in a bullish order flow on a 4 hour. Okay, I probably can't extend that because it's down here somewhere. But we're in a bullish order flow, and that's what it just went from a bearish order flow back to a bullish order flow. So our EA marked this particular auto fib at Apologies, it's running a little slow now. I've got the scanner going and other MT4 terminals and such. So I can tell you that the EA probably marked this. Oh, I just went too far. Dang it. So what I'm looking for is the 15-minute bearish source to populate here, and you'll see it as one of these yellow arrows. And that tells me when the EA would have auto-populated a Fibonacci value. Right there. So at 8:19, 14, 15, we got a Fibonacci retracement value. Now look, they stop hunted the area, but they quickly moved away from it. Coming back for an OTE entry right here at, let me just grab this and we'll zoom in. So actually we had a 79%, even OTE and 79% here. So at this particular time, 8:20, 10:15, we would have had an OTE retracement, and this went all the way up to target profit 2. So this is a 170 pip move. Again, this is all in hindsight. It makes it look really easy, and the market conditions will play tricks on you, but the EA is auto plotting this and will tell you these values automatically. So it's really just using and manipulating this EA and finding the best setup possible for your trading style. But yes, you can see right now that we're in a bearish order flow, bearish 4-hour order flow. We're in a bearish 15-minute order. Well, we're in a bullish order flow right now, but we're probably about to get a new 15-minute bearish. But you can see that price as it traded from this low reach back into the 79% retracement level, 200 EMA rejection, and now it's starting to sell back off. Any other questions?
All right, I think we're done. Afolabi Isaiah, you still want to ask a question, or has it been answered?
So some people are asking about the price. Okay.
Oh, GA had to step out. I think he needed to attend to.
Yeah, let me show one more thing that we have built into the EA that will help you as a trader. And this is basically a way to keep your emotions out of trading and to help you not over leverage. So we have a trade manager built in. Now on this particular account, small account, $294 into it. So let's say that I wanted to catch a trade at the OTE, the 79 or the 62% retracement level. We have a trade manager built in. If I press O, it brings up the FXOB trade manager. Let's say that I wanted to risk 2% of my capital. I can click calculate. This will bring up a virtual stop loss bar. So above price, it knows it's going to sell. This is the virtual stop loss. So if I tried to sell right now, it will open up and if I come over here and hit open trade, it will open up a market order, a sell trade at 0.12 lot size, okay? But let's say that I want my stop loss up above this 15-minute bearish source, okay? At that value, I am, how far am I? 65 pips away. So now I could say pending mode on, and this will bring up a limit order. So now I can drag this limit order to a 79% retracement because I want price to come back here. Now I have my limit order set. It's 40 pip distance from here to here. It knows that it will put me in at a 0.02 risk. And then I could say place the pending trade. Now I have an auto-calculated, risk-calculated trade set up at a Fibonacci retracement value with a stop loss in place. So this just prevents you from doing something stupid.
All right, basically like a position size calculator.
Position size calculator built into the EA, yes.
Great, great, great. Will the EA trade on its own? I'm not sure that is
The
up yet.
EA, we're working on that, and that is future production. But you know, at this point, it's about collecting the data, getting that data into usable formats, being able to query it, and the EA then being able to read the data. With the engines alerting us and telling us where we have market conditions as well, so if you hit the Q button here, you can see that this is a bearish. Let me just blow this back up. So if you hit the Q button, this bring on your panel, this is called the main menu on the panel. If I hit Q, it hides it and it really cleans up my chart. But having this up, you can see right here that the 15-minute is a bullish source enabled 17 candles ago. H1 is a bearish enabled 8 candles ago, and H4 is a bearish enabled 2 candles ago. Okay, so I'm collecting all of this data on every pair, and I'm calculating averages, and it's a manual process right now, but it's going to go into finding averages of these values. And then when we have an average of these values plus a retracement level, we're going to have to, you know, I want a database to make the decision on when to execute.
Great.
Does that make sense?
All right.
And that's really advanced.
Yes, it
I'm an
does.
IT guy. So my 9 to 5 is I'm an IT director. I've been a cloud infrastructure engineer for 17 years. And when I got a hold of this code and I immediately seen the potential, these are the types of things coming from an IT background that I'm working with GA to develop.
Great, great. So 2 more questions as we wrap it up. Do you have a manual? Someone was asking, Funshaw is asking, do you have a manual for this engine?
So that is something we know we need to get done, but you know, there's 3 of us on the team right now, and there's a lot of development that has been taking place. Now, I will tell you that this is the early stages of what the FXOB has been or has become. It's only been in production for about 3 months, and we've already gone through 3 major release changes. So by doing all the major release changes, it's preventing us from doing some of the documentation IT work that's needed. And so, yes, we understand that there's a need for a manual, but at this time we don't have that developed, but it is in the process of being worked on. And in that manual, it's not just going to, the manual is going to be a manual of how to use the EA and manipulate the EA and really use the EA as a tool. And then the second piece we're working on is the strategy behind it.
Yeah. All right. So I understand the manual is not ready yet, but at least we'll have some videos. I know we have like, is it a 20-something minutes video, 30-something minute video explaining some of these key concepts. Second question, will this program tell us when to sell or buy? I think I can answer that. No, it won't tell you when to sell. It won't tell you buy now, sell now. It will tell you price has gotten to OTE. It will tell you LSB has happened. To tell you price has returned to source. You now have to decide to take your trade. So
Yes.
if your entry, and there are various entries, for instance, I don't trade feeds that much. So if price gets to OTE, good for price. Now, some other persons, we only trade from source to source, right? So if it gives you a return to source, what is your entry conditions? Do you want to trade on H1 LSB or 15 minutes LSB, or you want to see an M and W before taking your trade? What it does is that it checks all this for you, including bearish order flow, bullish order flow. You don't need to go mark up your chart or anything. It does all that for you and just sends a signal to your mobile phone. And you'll be in a Telegram group. You get the signal with the picture. You can now narrow down within 5 minutes and check, okay, does this meet my entry criteria? Do I have a trade? If you have a trade, you pull your trigger. If you don't,
Right.
you let it pass by. Right?
That's
So
right.
it won't tell you buy or sell, but it does about 90% of the dirty work for you. Some of us complain, I mark up my order blocks and I shut down my PC, and the next day everything is wiped up. Well, this will not be wiped up, it will be there, right? And you can monitor that. If you're trading order flow, you know how difficult it is to keep tab on 8 pairs, let alone 28, right? So this can take tab, keep tab on about 28 pairs, send the signals to you. You decide when to pull the trigger. For instance, when he was explaining for the buy on 15 minutes, I know some people buy upon a retest of the breaker, LSB on 15 minutes, and some people buy upon the retest of the 15-minute source. So all that is dependent on you, how you want to take the trade. But what this does is that it has told you price is presently bullish. But will it tell us when? It only tells us when price gets to a source, right? It doesn't tell us when price bounces off from an order block, but it tells us when price reaches a previous day's low and now gives an LSB.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so if I'm buying, I want a deep retracement to yesterday's low for a buy. Now, when I get a deep retracement to yesterday's low, I could add an added confirmation of seeing divergence between the 2 days low before I take on my buy. That is dependent on how you want to trade. How soon can this engine be ready for use? I'm already using it. I'm already using this, and or is it not ready? Newbie trading, is it not ready?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Is this engine ready for use now?
Oh, yes. Yes, it is in production. Yes.
Great. So I'm using it. Does the engine give notification on other time frame for entry apart for 15 minutes? Yes. You could set your engine to daily, H4 and H1. When you do that, it will give you LSB on H1, right? So you see there on the screen, we have engine 1, H1, engine 2, D. You choose what you want.
Right.
If you said, I don't like trading 15 minutes because the fake outs are much, I only want to trade LSB on H1, then you could have your major trend from daily, your mid trend from H4, and your LSB entry on H1. It will give you less signals, but now you are sure that price is already moving in this direction. You might have a wider stop loss or the likes. It all depends on what you want to do. So you could play around it to suit your personality. The main thing is that it takes out time from you and you need to understand the order flow. Fortunately, we have about 20 videos on this YouTube channel explaining source, breaker, order flow, FIB entries, M&Ws, BTMM entries already for free. All you need to do is just spend some time. All right, I think we can wrap it up now. Now, as for the price, GA stepped out of the meeting. He needs to attend to something. So we have GA already on our Telegram group.
Yeah, and I can show you that. Let me just pull it up and then I'll share this.
Okay.
Let's see. There is a trading bot. Well, it's a Telegram bot, and let me just share the Telegram again. But if you look for FXOB accounting bot in Telegram, you can just click start and it will give you the information on how to join. Okay. You can click status and it'll tell you if you have any active subscriptions. You can click plan again. And it will then, if you click on any of these, it will take you to, credit, debit card, or an access code. So
for
if
those,
there
for
are
those
going
of
to
us
be
coming, for those of us coming from Simply Pips, GA has decided to give us a discount.
Right. And so that's why if you are getting a discount, then you're going to use an access code, and then we're going to give you the access code.
Yes. So those of you coming in from Simply Pips, just chat GA up I'll drop his information again. Already he's part of the Simply Pips team, but I'll drop that info again. Just chat him up and let him know you're coming from Simply Pips, so you can get the discount. I paid for the year for 1 year, so it's much more. I think that was almost 50% off the price. So anything happening for the next 1 year, I have access to it. So you could decide what you want to do. Again, I must state here that this doesn't guarantee that you build a mansion in the next 2 months, or does it?
It doesn't guarantee what?
It doesn't. Does it guarantee that if we buy the EA now, we can build a mansion in the next 2 months?
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't guarantee that, right?
Right. Well, I don't know what you and GA have worked out. So if you guys have worked out something on the side that he's given a discount, I'm unaware of that. So yeah, all the best. And if he's running the promotion for you guys for a month or 2 months or 3 months, then that's completely fine with me. I can't say enough about how much development goes into this tool, and that's really what it is. It's a tool. It's to help you analyze the market. It's to help you from doing stupid things.
Basically. All right. Thanks a lot for coming online.
Everybody can see this particular trade, right? So the auto fib was 819.20 on the USD, Aussie USD, fell into the retracement zone, an H1 demand zone. And if you can hold through a week's time these values, you're buying at these retracement values, it comes back in, you're adding to your order, you're adding to your order, you're adding to your order. You'd be in some big profit right now, and you're just taking it back to the supply zone. So
basically trading from source to source, trading from source
to source. Exactly. Yeah.
Great. Thanks for your time. We'll continue this discussion on Telegram, guys. Trading is, will I say, a difficult way to make easy money. But when you have a tool that shares some of the difficulty and takes it off your shoulder, I think it's a good one. So let's put a 555 in the chat box as we appreciate our guest for today. Thank you for coming online.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. So guys, let's have a good evening and chat GA up to see how we can get this. Thanks and take care.
Thank you.
Yep.
Happy trading. Bye.
Bye.